need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I'm all over yours. If it come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how cool the floor is yours. 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 The floor is yours.
Now it's my turn to tell y'all about my big bro Gerard and the podcast crew.
Good evening. Welcome everybody once again to the Floor is Yours podcast. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And as you know, every week it is our desire to be relevant to you. And so this week is going to be the same. A powerful episode. I already know it is going to be. So tell all of your friends, tell all of your family to join us tonight for this very important podcast we're going to have tonight. But before we go another further, tell your friends to like, share, and subscribe to the Floor is Your podcast so you can stay in touch with us and get all of these good messages and good people that we bring on for you. But I gotta give my main man, Gerard, a time to shout out and say hi to our audience. So Gerard, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
Take myself off mute. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, wherever y'all watching us from. Appreciate your time. That's it.
Hey, cool, man. Cool. Hey, tonight we got awesome guest, my friend from back in the day, preacher extraordinaire. I'm telling you, can preach the horns off of Billy Goat. So this right here is, I know it's going to be dynamic because he's just that type of dude. My friend, pastor, author, part-time comedian, you name it, he can do it. Mr. Johnny Moore III. Welcome, Johnny. Tell us about you. Johnny, the floor is yours.
Hey, what's up, Gregory? Gerard, man, thank you all so much for having me on tonight. I'm really excited to be a part of your podcast. Just a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I've been living in the state of Texas now 6 years. Lived a couple of years there in Dallas, where I had the pleasure of meeting Gregory there at a church, and been in Houston now almost 4 years. So have a finance background, master's of business degree, and above all of that, I'm just a church boy from Memphis, Tennessee. My dad was a pastor, just in the church all my life, and yep.
I was gonna say, hey, when you say Memphis, I gotta hear this from you one time before we get deep into the conversation.
Say, man.
Say what's up, man.
What's up, man?
All right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. And so tonight we're going to be talking about men's mental health. Certainly a very, very important subject to talk about. And the three of us have all experienced some highs and lows in life. And, you know, whatever title you have, it could be preacher, it could be minister, it could be father, it could be CEO. But the Bible tells us to count it all joy, not if, but when you fall into diverse trials, which in my translation says, don't be surprised when you catch it, because it's going to happen to you. And so, Johnny, you recently wrote a book talking about this particular subject. Tell us about the book, what it's called, and what made you want to write a book about mental health.
Absolutely. Man, I had the pleasure and the privilege of writing a book specifically to men. When I started the process, everyone told me men don't read, men don't buy books, write something for women. But I felt this burden because I had an opportunity to go back home and speak at a men's conference. And there the pastor tells me, hey, we're going to have you speak on Sunday, but we're having a panel discussion on Saturday afternoon. So before you preach, we want you to just chop it up with the guys, have a conversation with them to really hear their hearts, hear what they're going through. And in that moment, guys, I was floored by the stories of recidivism and trying to re-enter society, marital issues, emotional issues. And really the crux of the matter was there was not a safe place that they felt they could go to be able to talk about these things. So I took from that experience a burden to write a book specifically to men that deal with inevitable struggles. So we entitled it Anchored: Finding Strength in Your Struggles. So every one of us, if we're going to have struggles, I think it's indicative for us, incumbent rather, upon us to find strength in those struggles. And of course, the parallel to the anchor is something that's just going to stabilize you, something that's going to hold you down. And I believe foundationally, our faith in Jesus Christ is the thing that allows us to be anchored while we find strength, not on the other side of the struggle, but while we're in it, while we're being matured, while we're being developed in the midst of the struggle. So that's basically what the book is about.
So here's a unique question, and Johnny, just to hear your thoughts around this, but why would God allow us to have these struggles to gain strength? I mean, if God knows His plan, His purpose, His desire for us, why aren't we just downloaded, so to speak, with all of the answers already? Why do you think God takes us
Yeah.
through these struggles and He uh, presents Himself to be the anchor? Why is that process necessary?
Yeah, I think you have a great question. Yeah, I love to give you this analogy. My first car was not a Mercedes
Mm.
Benz. It wasn't the best car, but my father and my mother gave me this car because they knew that I would be able to learn more about how to take care of a car based on the quality or the lack thereof of the car that they got me. Okay. And I believe that God intentionally puts us in spaces and places, even has us in certain relationships so that when we find ourselves in a place of struggle, we learn to deepen our relationship with Him. The misnomer is that struggle comes to discredit us or to disqualify us. It really comes to deepen our relationship with Him because you don't really know the God that you're serving from a place of necessity until you experience lack or struggle.
Right.
So I believe God intentionally introduces us to struggle to really strengthen us. You know, you get those muscles in the gym when you continue to work it. So
Yeah,
I think that's a reason why God uses struggle for us.
absolutely. I like to say that the pain wasn't punishment; it was preparation.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely,
but
absolutely.
everything that
Through every
everything is just preparation.
learn,
Hmm.
yeah, we learn through the pain that we
Yeah,
experience, man.
yeah. I like this topic because, we talk a lot about mental health in general, which is very important to do.
That's
But tonight we're specifically focusing on men. How do you think mental health is uniquely different from when a woman experiences it versus when a man experiences it? Is there any really major differences there?
Oh, absolutely. I think, Gregory, one thing is that we don't talk about it.
Yeah, yeah,
It is very much prevalent in our lives. It is an everyday
right.
experience, but it's not something that we talk about. Juxtaposed to women, they have groups to make sure that they have community, they have books, and all of these things. But I think it becomes a topic that is swept under the rug
Mm,
because there are certain societal norms that get a man to think if I express that I'm suffering in the area of mental health, then I'm
yeah,
weak.
yeah,
I'm not I'm not operating at the most optimal level of my masculinity because I can't clearly define nor articulate the place of mental health that I have an area of opportunity in. So I think because we have kind of pushed this under the rug or hit this, we're not really exercising an opportunity to really see
hmm,
health and healing in those places
yeah,
of
yeah.
mental
You're
health.
absolutely right. I think about this, Gerard and Johnny, and I think I've always said that the number one fear of a man is vulnerability, right? And the process of getting through that storm when you have these struggles, the solution is vulnerability. So that means I got to go before my friends, my family, or professional and go, I don't have this figured out. I don't know how to relate to my wife. I
That's
don't know
right.
how to relate to my children. And I think that, as you said, women practice that more than men do. They practice that with their
Yes,
girlfriends.
sir.
They practice that, and when on the car ride when they got like five, they practice that on the group chat. They get more practice than we do, right? And one of the things I think we can do better as men is supporting each other when one of us expresses it's tough. instead of just teasing. You know, like if one of us say, hey, like my old lady's giving me a hard time, you know, like, well, you need to go and
Right,
straighten out your house, you know, that kind of thing. Like, no, let's talk
right.
about it. What's bothering? You know, it gets hard.
Yeah, I really think that's the thing, Gregory, is that we really need to work on creating safe
Hmm.
spaces because I can feel something, but if I don't feel safe in the space that I'm in or the people I surround myself
Right.
with, I'll end up suppressing those emotions. And before I know it, I implode. And before I explode, I can implode all of uh, the stress and the worry and the struggles of life. And we see it through places of depression, PTSD, anxiety. All of these things come out in a different way, because for some of us, we don't express depression through rage or sadness. Maybe it's through this place of irritability, where the ladies that's watching us tonight, and the men that's watching, maybe you can't put your finger on what's going on. All you see is the byproduct of it, and not really know, hey, what's going on behind these emotions that
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
displaying.
And also as men, we have a certain level of pride. We take pride in saying, I got it. I can figure it out. Don't worry. I can do this. And that pride
Yeah,
really keeps us stuck. We don't grow because of that. We're narrowing
yeah,
our conversations, and that's not healthy. It's not healthy.
that's,
Yeah.
that's right.
So we got to get over that pride. We got to get over that pride. So when we talk about mental health, one of the things that I truly believe is that mental health is generational. And we gotta, when we're
Mm,
dealing with mental health issues, we gotta look at our fathers and our mothers, our uncles and our aunties and go, what's going on in my family line? What are some of these patterns
that's right.
that need to be addressed within myself? Because as we get older, we realize that we reflect more of our parents' patterns than we thought we did. And it stands up and one day we wake up, we look in the mirror and go, how did my father's voice come out of my body? When did this happen? What's your experience with
That's
that?
right.
Do you agree with that, or do you think it's an individual journey, or is it a generational thing that we got to be aware of?
Yeah, I think wholeheartedly it's a generational thing.
Hmm.
It's funny that you use that analogy just today. I was going for my checkup, which is another thing that men don't talk about.
Yeah,
My annual checkup. I have a pre-existing condition, and when I went there, a part of the survey is tell us about your family's physical conditions from a history.
right.
What does your mom's side of the family deal with? What does your father's side of the family deal with? And I think it's really a huge place of responsibility on ourselves to ask those
Yeah,
questions. A lot of times we grew up in homes where what goes on in the house, what goes on in the family, it's never discussed. But now I find myself having those courageous conversations with my father to say, "Hey, man, I'm dealing with this right now. I don't." I don't know if you've ever dealt with this, because when I came up, everyone acted like the pastor didn't have any mental health issues, didn't have stress, didn't have anxiety, didn't have any place of worry.
right.
So I just looked at him as Superman, not really knowing that at the substratum of what I've been dealing with, it was a generational issue that maybe he's overcome or he's still struggling with. And I isolated myself to feel like, man, if I could be totally transparent here, Gregory, I felt some places of mild depression because I thought it's only me, that this didn't come from my father. Why am I like this? This didn't plague my grandfather. Why am I like this? And then having those substantive conversations with my dad and even with my mom to find out, hey, what was granddad like? Like in the early years, I know granddad, but you know dad in a different way. And I think when we're able to uncover those things, we can identify them, because you can't heal what is hidden.
Ooh, oh, you can't fix what you won't face. That's right. Yeah,
And if that's the case, if I continue to hide it and suppress it, I never set myself up to be truly healed from it.
yeah,
And so many of our relationships, our families, our careers, our decisions are altered and affected because we have chosen not to heal. We prioritize hiding
mm,
and being makeup artists with the things that we have going on
yeah,
internally.
yeah. Never let them see you sweat, right? Men, we
Yeah,
love that. We take that as a badge of honor. You're not going to see me uh, be weak or fumble. No, I'm standing up strong. But that is impossible Because even Jesus, when the cross was on his back, it was a struggle. So if Jesus struggled, then I know I'm going to struggle. And
Absolutely.
and I think, as we go back and we have conversations, if you have the privilege to talk to your father or grandfather about struggles, you will find that that was just the way life was. Men didn't share. And what we also found out in those generations is that men died earlier. Men suffered from more diseases, ulcers and cancers and all of this thing because they held it in. They had mental breakdowns. And so when
Yes.
you know better, you do better, and it's our desire to live in a way that our children can live better than us, and we have to be that
Hmm.
example. And so it's very important that even if mom and dad won't confess, we have to acknowledge and say, I still love you, but I understand better now that your patterns are dysfunctional and I have to change them.
Very
Right. And that's not dishonoring your parents, it's just being real.
absolutely. And I think we also have to get to a place as men where we challenge ourselves to lead from a place of wholeness, not brokenness.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Of not brokenness, and some of that brokenness is attributed to PTSD, that post-traumatic experiences that we've seen from childhood that we've never really addressed, never really spoken to, and then we end up bleeding on the rest of our relationships or even the next generation because we have chosen not to really heal from those situations. And I think that's a huge thing, is prioritizing just being whole. And I think the money, we have to also identify what makes me whole.
Yeah.
It's not the car, it's not the clothes, it's not, all of the other things that society may say deems us successful, but we really need to do a deep dive in redefining what wholeness looks like in our lives.
Yeah. And wholeness doesn't mean just holding it together.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, before we move from that topic too, I love that you asked that question, Gregory, about the generational piece in it. While it, definitely is within family and genes, but there's also within our community. There's a lot of trauma that we're dealing with that we have normalized, within the community as well. And one of the things that I have noticed over the past 3 or 4 years is how we desensitize ourselves from things, not just the wrongs within ourselves, but things that are being done to us. I remember when George Floyd happened, the issue with him and the police beatings.
That's right.
Now you would think that just because it's not on the national news that it's not happening or it's not happening in as much, and that's not the case. So we have been desensitized, and I think that's part of the plan is to get us to normalize or just accept certain dysfunctions as a normal thing or part of what we are, and I think that's doing great damage to us as well.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. I think it's not just prioritizing our home, but getting to a place to where maybe the home is the priority, but it's not exclusive. We become inclusive with our communities, to where there was always, I remember Mr. McGee that lived behind me, Mr. Milligan that lived across the street, Mr. Moore that lived next door, and all of those people had an opportunity to speak in my life. All of those individuals had an opportunity to course correct some things within the community that maybe my mom and my dad didn't see. But I think it's so important for men to be able to speak into the lives of young men and young women from a place of care and concern, and being able to normalize this community empowerment as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
They go ahead.
I was going to let the audience know we do see the comments coming. Keep the comments coming, questions, comments, interact with each other as well, and we're going to make sure we get to them. So we definitely want to make sure that we give the audience an opportunity to be heard. So just want to plug that out there.
Absolutely. Definitely want to hear those comments. They did a study on the ancestors of people from the Holocaust. And what they determined scientifically is that there is a trauma gene, and it's passed down from generation to generation. And so if there is a trauma gene from ancestors of people who suffered in the Holocaust, then it stands to reasons that would be a trauma or stress gene for people who ancestors endured slavery. And so this mental health almost seems like an issue that is unavoidable. And so I think that we would be naive to send out the message that all you need is you can pray it away. What is your response to people who say, all I got to do is go to church and read my Bible and I'm going to be all right? Is that an insult?
Yeah,
Is that doubting Christ's strength? You know, am I insulting God
no,
by going to a therapist?
not at all. I have a quick one-liner for that. You need Christ and a counselor.
Hmm.
You need an opportunity, and even within that, you need community. You need Christ, community, and a counselor. You need someone that is able to speak into your life
Hmm.
professionally. You also need community that is able to help guide decisions, even your thoughts. Maybe there are thoughts of low self esteem and low self worth, or there are times where community needs to challenge you in some ways. I don't think that it's disrespectful to Christ or the church that you have regular opportunities to speak with a therapist. Some of the deepest moments I've had in transformation or seeking to be better or get better in certain areas of mental health have been in those sessions with a therapist. They didn't happen on an altar. They didn't happen in a church service. I'm sorry. Yes, the pastor's saying everything is not limited to, let me say that, it's not limited to the Sunday morning experience or a weekly Bible study. Some opportunities need to be experienced with a therapist. Some opportunities need to be experienced with community, someone that you trust, a group of people that you trust to be accountable with. And in doing so, I think we have this approach that is not just one sided, it's not one dimensional. It's not just Christ, but it involves so many other individuals that can speak into your life.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, because Christ, God, has given people the gift of exhortation, has given people the gift to speak into the lives of others on a professional level.
Right?
And God is not insulted by our common sense. He's not insulted by research and science. And so sometimes the healing can be in the conversation with someone who's had a shared experience and or has studied this
Great.
particular issue. And that is God working. God is saying, I'm sending you someone who is prepared to speak to the crisis that you are in, you know.
Yeah.
And to, you know, go back to an earlier conversation that we have about, you know, since it is unavoidable, I believe that crisis is an opportunity to meet Christ. And so
Oh, that's
in
good.
that moment where there is crisis, you're going to discover just how powerful Christ actually is. And so sometimes he
Yes.
confronts us through a crisis so that we can
Hmm.
get to know him. And so it's all working together for our good. And so since we're talking specifically about men's mental health, what are some things that are included in your book that you think that men can do starting today to kind of help turn life around? What are some habits and routines that you think we could start doing to help fix this?
Yeah, I think the first thing is to create a routine of devotion
Hmm.
for me and for anyone. I think that's just one of the highest priorities. What does devotion look like? It's an opportunity for me to settle myself before the day, or at the end of the day, or during the day. Settling myself, I'm sorry, through the word of God, hearing what He has to say for my life, hearing what His direction is for me, um, being able to gain from the encouraging words of His promises
Uh,
as it speaks to our lives, but also having opportunity to have time with community. I'm not ashamed of this. I'm a huge groups guy because I know that people don't grow in pews, they grow in circles. They don't grow on a Sunday morning, grow when they do life with others. So I think prioritizing that time with others as well. I think also making sure that they're living a well balanced life. You're not just only going to church, but you're also seeking counseling. You're also taking care of your body, working out, because that can cause stress and anxiety or help to relieve stress and anxiety. So I think there's a combination of also watching what we eat. If we're going to talk specifically to our community, there are some areas of opportunity we have with the things that we eat that causes stress. It
Now, Johnny,
causes
don't take
sickness.
away my fried chicken.
Okay, I won't take away your Friday.
I'm
I
kidding.
just asked pepper chicken.
I'm just kidding, you know. But I agree with everything that you said. We our diet does play a significant role in our overall health. It really does, and exercise does help relieve stress. Um, and just to kind of echo on what you're talking about, great positive relationships. I think sometimes
That's right.
underestimate the power of a good friend, someone that you can just drop your bags on the floor and go, "This is me, raw and uncut. Not going to judge you. I'm catching it right now. Can you just listen to me?" And sometimes that's all you need is someone who's going to listen to you without judging and just support you. Not even give you an answer, but just go, "Hey, you're safe here. Get it off your chest. It's all good. Cry if you need to cry. Ain't nobody gonna know, but
Yeah,
this is between you and I." And
Yes.
that solves a whole lot of problems.
yeah. Hey, let's do this before we go to commercial break. We just want to acknowledge a couple comments in the comment section. We'll do that, and then we'll go to commercial break, and we come back and let you continue the discussion. We got my good friend from the hometown, Texarkana, Bridget. She says, "I think it comes natural for women." So this was in response to Gregory's comment earlier, where he was talking about that women naturally, more often, more frequently, voice their concerns or their challenges or their
Sure.
struggles. Y'all want to elaborate on that, or are you good?
Well, you know, I think that's true because we weren't allowed to as little boys. You
Mhm.
know, what happens when a little boy falls down? Get back up. If
Yeah,
you cry, what happens? Hey, boys don't cry. We were taught and trained to uh, to suppress our feelings and just get the job done. So it does come a
Yeah.
lot more natural for women because expressing your emotions was always met with criticism, and it always was met with you're lesser than if you show emotions.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think also women are just naturally great at creating spaces. Hey, girl, what's going on? What's going on with you? Hey, let's go out and, you know, meet up for drinks or
yeah,
whatever. Naturally creating those spaces of vulnerability. And I think men just have to learn from those areas of opportunity that we have to create more natural spaces for
that's
that.
good. That's good. Yeah, got another one
Yeah.
from hometown as well. Miss Love Jones, Miss Roz, she says, knowing your family history plays a huge role in mental and physical health. So that was in response to the conversation too about is it in our genes and is it generational? I'll let you guys
yeah.
respond to that.
You know, and I love it because I do think that's a real thing, but it's a very tricky thing because our parents and grandparents were quiet people. They were private people. So, you know, uncle had a family down the street that no one talked about, you know, and dad may have had a
Right.
child on the side, no one talked about. And so it was like these things that were like, I see it happening, but no one's talking about it. And that in of itself creates dysfunction and trauma as well. And so I think it's incumbent on us in this generation to be a bit more transparent and discuss these things
Right.
so that our children don't have these same hangups that we have. Just,
Yeah, that's right, man. I was on TikTok and I found a book I gave to my both of my parents, and I said, "Hey, I want you guys to take time to invest in writing down your history, your family history, questions that I would like to know, questions that I can pass on to my son that helps us to identify and not just identify, but then put a plan of actions to." In place to rid ourselves or to, as I'm seeing here, to break those generational curses. They're not broken just by identifying them. Now we need to see, hey, what was at the root of that issue so we can truly break and destroy those curses that are plaguing our families.
Yeah, that's
right
good.
on. Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah. I'm excited when we come back from commercial, Johnny. I want to ask you, what can women do to help men with their mental issues? And how is mental issues particularly affecting Black men? So we're going to talk about that after the break.
Let's do it.
Every man battles something, but not every man has a space to heal. Texarkana, September 27, 2025, at Radiant Church. It's time to create the life you want. Join Jamar Bruce and Gerard Ware for a powerful, purpose-driven experience focused on breaking the stigma behind men's mental health. This life-changing event features a dynamic panel of real conversations, live performances and entertainment, epic giveaways, and special guest appearances, featuring Sunday Best Season 6 runner-up Kafia Rollerson, keynote speaker Gregory McKinney, hosted by nationally renowned comedian Derek Keener. This is more than an event, it's a movement, a place for healing, strength, and community. Don't miss your chance to be a part of something great. Together, let's create the life we want. Secure your spot today at www.lifeiwantevent.com.
I ain't ashamed. Jesus took my guilt and he broke every chain. Mental health is wealth and I'm choosing to heal.
All right, we're back. And yes, I did change shirts because the other shirt was hot, so I was had to cool down a little bit. But hey, I'm glad that you're back. Now we are talking about men's mental health, and for men's mental health, it just overflows into our professional lives. We don't show up professionally as well as we could because we have these internal struggles. It shows up in our personal lives. Sometimes the people we love most, they get the brunt of our unhealthiness. And so we have to discuss that we need companionship, we need partnership, we need someone to help us walk through this. And the closest people to us are our intimate partners, our wives and our girlfriends. So, fellas, what do you think the women in our lives, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, how can they help support us as we're trying to heal and get better with our mental health issues?
Yeah, I think if I could just jump in here, I think there's sometimes there are key indicators that go overlooked. Asking the question, okay, why is my husband or my significant other or my brother or my son, why are they drinking so
Yeah,
much?
yeah,
What's triggering that action? Why are they so easily angered? What's causing this place of irritability? And really creating a space for them to share without shame. Because if a
right,
man feels
yeah,
like he's going to be shamed for
right.
sharing, he will never share. And
He
I
was
think
shut
that
down.
he will shut down. So a woman identifying herself as a partner in this opportunity of seeing better spaces of mental health in men and seeing how I can not overreact by what's happening, but really working even through couples counseling or going through group counseling to be very intentional to hear what the counselor is saying because sometimes you don't the woman is only experiencing the negative but not hearing the root of the issue.
Right.
And I think the woman
Yeah.
may be sensitive when she's able to hear, oh, I had no idea this is a result of the trauma
Right.
that you faced at 13 years old. I
Right.
didn't know what I was doing was causing you to be triggered. So let me
Right.
be a partner and be less triggering in those moments and be sensitive. And let's have a conversation. Let's
Hmm.
find a way to talk in those non-confrontational environments there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You're 100% on everything. And I think sometimes creating a space where a man says, I can be vulnerable, and this is why I'm behaving this way. Because I'm getting older, I got a few gray hairs, and the company keeps hiring these young kids straight out of college. Am I still competitive? You know,
I'm, you got a lot of gray hair. I
I
didn't know
do.
if you noticed. You got a lot of
I
gray hair.
got a few. I like to
Okay.
call them their seeds of wisdom, as I like to refer to them. Yeah,
Okay. I just want to
Yeah.
let you know a lot of,
Hey,
lot of.
let's even
Okay.
want to remind me, right? Okay. Well, I earned every last one of them, so I'm proud of it.
Yeah, yeah, very wise, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, absolutely. The best way I think to support men as we, go through our mental health struggles is to know that I am with you and you're not alone and you can feel you're safe being vulnerable with me here.
Yeah.
One aspect though, fellas, is on the flip side of that, this may be difficult for women to understand, but sometimes he doesn't want your help. He just wants your support. And the
Mhm.
best thing you can do is cheer for him from the sidelines. A
Correct.
lot of times, and we love our women for it when they see us struggling. Hey, we're going to get a plan together. We're going to get a strategy together. I'm going to call the doctor. We're going to go to the doctor together. I'm going to tell the doctor exactly what the problem is. I'm going to make sure you're doing this and make sure you're doing that. sometimes he doesn't want that
Mm.
because he's still a man and he still wants to be looked at as strong in your eyes.
Yes.
And sometimes the best support you can give him is encouragement from the sidelines. Would you
And
think
I
that's
think,
true, Johnny?
Gregory, and I think that's very, very easily done in a simple question. Hey, Johnny, I understand something's going on. You're not
Right.
yourself. How do you need me to be there for you right now?
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
what can I do? Do you just want to vent? Do you need to get out? Do you need to be alone? What can I do? Because I think when we self-impose what we feel is the solution, then unmet expectations cause disappointment. And
Yeah.
he becomes disappointed in this interaction. So we pull ourselves away from those interactions. But I think just being specific and very intentional in asking the question, how do you need me to be here for you at this place in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes support can feel like criticism because if
Mm,
you ask 100 different women what a real man is, you're going to get 100 different answers.
that's right.
And so if your spouse or significant other, your daughter even is saying, well, I thought men just knew what to do. I thought a man would just handle his business. Sometimes that comes across as criticism, and those type of remarks were shut down. And so um, there is sometimes a profile that women have of men, and when the man in your life doesn't feel like he's hitting your profile, and you let him know that he's not hitting your profile or description of what a man is, that's just going to push him further, further away. Because I'm
Yeah,
doing the best I can. I'm showing up with all of the knowledge and wisdom and experience that I have. I don't know what I don't know,
that's right.
and I'm
And
and I'm trying to be there for you. And so
that's
sometimes that have an adverse effect too.
yeah. I think another tip that I would give to all the sisters out there that are wondering how they can become a support is to help to give language to their pain. Sometimes
Hmm.
we feel emotions that we don't have verbiage or words for. And I think it is very, very important for us to learn how to articulate what is happening. And it starts very early. I have a 5-year-old son, and he can start to whine but not be able to articulate what's going on. So I'm trying to teach him at a very early age. My words are use your words, Joe. I don't
Yeah.
understand what that means. You're acting out right now. No, talk to
Right.
me. What's going on? Ask him what are these feelings? Is this a feeling of insecurity? Is this fear? Is this a low place of self-worth? How are you feeling within your job? Helping to identify and label those things with a language helps a level of connectivity with that problem and that issue, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I would say don't let too much time pass before you address it. So if you see your man and he's kind of down in the dumps, give him address it lovingly. Don't force him to respond immediately. Just say, "I notice that something is off,
That's right.
and I would like to know what you're going through. So when you're able to, please let me know what's going on the inside. Tell me what I don't see. Tell me what you would like for me to know right now. Tell me what you would like for me to know right now." And I think that will open up a very honest and safe conversation as well. Because it's got to be tough to be the partner that's with a man that's going through some mental health struggles, and you want to help, but you just don't know how.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so hey, we're all black men, and so we would be intellectually naive to think that we don't face our own unique challenges in this world and society when it comes to mental health challenges as black men. And we all know that black men tend to not have equal access to mental care facilities or opportunities, be it for economic reasons or social reasons. We tend to not participate in going to the therapist like we should, or just doing check-ins, health check-ins like we should.
Right.
But outside of that, what are some unique experiences with mental health that you think Black men have, and how it shows up?
Yeah, I want to kind of segue or talk about what we're this PTSD. I
Yeah,
think that so many times that has only been attributed to individuals that have been in war or battle.
yeah,
But really, if you look at that, it's not just a physical battle, but sometimes it's a battle of the mind. And those experiences that we have had, as you've articulated, Gregory, with experiencing in Gerard, police brutality. And maybe that
Hmm.
hadn't happened to you, but it's happened to someone in your family, or it's happened to a great number of the people in your family.
Right.
Incarceration, systematic injustice. We're
Hmm.
seeing these so much,
Hmm.
and the frequency of them has begun to desensitize us to them. But I think in that, it spawns that PTSD,
Yeah.
and you
Or
feel,
what some people call post-traumatic slave disorder.
wow, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
And when it becomes a thing of normalcy and you think it just happens, then your
Yeah.
reaction to it, you feel, um, it doesn't warrant me to say anything. It doesn't
Right.
warrant me to speak out against injustice, because that's just what happens to our people. Because
Right.
of societal pressures to lead, you know, could cause persistent anxiety, causing to lead
Hmm.
and having to always have the answers for situations. And I think all of these things show up differently. Economic disparities that we could face, racial discrimination, all of these things are very normal. We see them
Yeah.
differently than our parents, but they may
Yeah.
not be as overt. And now in 2025, they're very overt. So
Mm.
just how we internalize, how we process the things that happen in society also affect our mental health on a daily basis.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think we can't play down the um, the feeling that you have to be better than, to be
Yes,
considered equal. When I'm at the job, or where, or feeling like I got to uh, be inconspicuous because I don't want to cause any trouble.
that's
People
right.
are watching me when I'm shopping. It's just, you walk into a room as a black man
Mhm.
fighting against pre-established stereotypes. And
Wow.
so oftentimes we shouldn't have to, but we walk into situations thinking, how can I not be that stereotype? So if I'm sitting in a boardroom, how can I show my peers and colleagues I'm not the stereotype? When I'm shopping, how can I prove I'm not the stereotype? And just that burden to show that I'm somewhat better than what you think I am, instead of
Mhm.
just walking into our own authenticity.
Yeah, and that's also a thing that bleeds into these mental health issues, is lack of self identity, because it
Yeah.
creates a struggle between what they feel I am and who I know I am.
Hmm.
But when you hear it and you see it so often, you begin to second guess, okay, am I that? Am I the societal norm, or am I the label that they continue to place on black males in the workplace? Or am I what society and the news is playing over and over and over again about
Yeah,
our people? Who am I?
yeah.
Hmm.
And I think there's a definite struggle there in times, because you look around, and then the fact is sometimes you do see it within our community, and you don't know the heart of the issues of what they are, how they're acting out, or where this is coming from. And I think that's a prevailing issue in our community.
It's heavy.
100%.
It's heavy. I just want to add to that too. That I know y'all heard this term or this phrase, black fatigue, and it
Yeah.
shows in a number of ways. And one that's been real prevalent here over the past year or two is this: if we can't beat them, join the mindset, and it calls people a lot of friendly fire, if you will. I'm literally watching people, in our community. Um, Lashing out against each other,
Mm.
in support of the opposition. And, when I say the opposition is great, it's meaning it doesn't look any one particular way. But I'm
That's right.
seeing people, obviously fighting the battle on the wrong side. And I'm going to use that intentionally say that, where they are siding with, people who don't have our best interests in mind. Whether it's black fatigue, whether it's you can't beat them, join 'em, whatever it is, it's
Mhm.
happening. And it's something that I've been trying to focus more on. But have you seen that in your space, Johnny?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think with that, having opportunities to work in several different, very diverse settings, it's something that is talked about all the time, because you're you're wanting to make sure um, that you're successful at whatever table you have the opportunity and the privilege to sit at, but you don't want to lose yourself for a seat at the table. But also,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you want to be in the room where the decisions are made, because
Yeah.
without proper representation of diversity, then the decisions, you'll never have a voice in the decision. And I think
Hmm.
that's a huge thing that we deal with. Uh, but it takes courage, it takes strength, and it takes, a really keen look on who you are and what you bring to the table, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes for Black men, it creates a sense of anger and frustration, because when
Mhm.
we talk about being appropriate for the boardroom or the opportunities that you get where you do want to succeed, there's a certain level of code switching that has to be displayed. Like I fit in here, you can pick me because if you pick me, you're going to get not only the best candidate, but you're going to get someone who is still safe at the same time, and that's frustrating to me. I have a particular anger about how I have to be adapt in your world, but you don't have to be in mine. I have
Mm,
to be able to know your language, but you don't have to know mine. And even when you do think about mine being my music, my colloquialisms, or fashion, you look at it as lesser than, but yours is the standard.
that's
Yeah.
right.
And that creates a sense of anger and frustration, because no matter how I show up, unless I pivot to what your preference is, I'm not acceptable.
Yeah.
I'm not acceptable just the way that God made me, by the voice and the confidence and the swag that I have. I have to somehow humble myself to fit your preferences in order
Yeah.
to be promoted in life. And that creates a sense of anger and frustration that lingers in you. And when you get home, you're angry and you're mad. You got a promotion at work, but why am I so mad? I'm mad because I had to compromise my dignity to
Yeah.
move forward, because society is constantly telling me that I'm lesser than unless a white person confirms it.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Greg. And it brings to mind a lot of that. What we don't want to do
Yeah.
itself is sacrifice. You
Mm,
know, when we know certain things got to be done for us to have a seat at the table, like at what price? So now, am I okay with, not getting that promotion, or not have been in a room with these people, or whatever, just for my dignity? And it's one of those things that you frown upon, because your value is based off of titles, your income, some of those external things. But then, to Gregory's point, how do you lay down at night, when it's just you and your kids, and you had to sacrifice, some basic fundamental things about yourself, overlook some harsh rhetoric. It's people that I've been in the community fighting with for years. Now I've seen them switch, and I'm just like, what in the heck, right? And again, whether it's the black fatigue showing as, if I can't beat them, join them, or
right.
they genuinely, legitimately had a ideology switch. Whatever the reason is, it's troublesome. It's troubling to me, and man, I won't go on that tangent, but again, yeah, I get it, and it's frustrating, and it does contribute to our mental health as well. But that goes to the other part of what Greg was saying again. That whole, like, how can I look at myself in the mirror? And some people have said, "Hey, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense," and they literally have died on that hill. In these
Yeah,
days. Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
that straightforward with Gerard. But I think it's very important for us to understand and be constantly reminded that our value is found in our uniqueness.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you bring something different to the table, it substantiates your value. And we need to teach our young men and our young women, uh, women, please encourage your man to know whatever you're bringing to the table that is unique, it is valuable, and it is something that can only come from you, because God gifted you like He gave
Yeah.
thumbprints and fingerprints. It's very specific to you, and only you can bring it to the table. But sometimes we dumb down and we minimize our uniqueness to succumb to what society says is valuable and
Yeah.
what success
Yeah.
says is valuable. So if I have a job making $250,000 a year, if I'm driving this type of car, if I'm living in this type of home, now I'm successful, now I'm valuable. And those things are not the things that should substantiate our value in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's my desire for every black man to know that the only validation he needs is the validation from God. When God is happy, then that's all that really matters.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This has been great. Do we have
Absolutely.
time for more talk, Gerard? I can't really see the clock. Do we have
No,
time for
we
more?
good on that. Yeah, actually, what we can do, Gregory, I know the discussion, we can keep going. Well, yeah, I take it back. We got my good friend, Christy Glass. We got a few comments in here from her. Let's go get to hers. And I
Great.
love Christy comments because she's one that she challenges us, man. She got a
All
good
right.
heart. She's from the
Give it to me.
hometown too. So let's make sure that we give her proper respect. Christy says a flashback to where I was, to where and how I came along. So she's talking about the generational curses and whatnot. And this next comment gives more context in what she's talking about. She says she stopped a long time ago calling it generational curse. She says she calls it toxic trait. There's a big difference between curses and traits. And I'll let both of y'all, I agree with her wholeheartedly. You know, there is a difference, but I'll let y'all address that.
I think there's a real thing in generational patterns. And because you can only go so far as you've been exposed, and you only can go as far as you've been taught. And what really shapes us in those formative years in our worth and what opportunities look like is what our parents instill in us. And so if we grew up in a home for 18, 20 years of just like a settling mentality, like I got just enough, I should be happy, and
Mhm.
not an abundance mentality of there's no limit for me, I can do all things. And I think that does kind of stunt our growth. But the Bible calls it generational curses, so I'm gonna call it generational curses. Um, but there are definitely patterns that we see repeated in bloodlines that I think do have to be paid attention to.
Yeah, I think I just want to combine them all because I
Yeah.
think they're kind of a byproduct. So if you have
Mm,
traits that are passed down through generations, you'll experience curses.
Mm, look
They
at him. Look at you, black man. Go ahead.
right. They all kind of come together. And if you're fighting against something that is, and a curse is anything that just plagues you. A curse is anything that causes a negative experience on one's life. And these toxic traits, if they are not dealt with, if they're not spoken to, and if they're not properly worked on, then I think we'll experience some curses within our lives that are avoidable at times if we have the right conversation. So I'd like to, bring them all together and say, I think you'll experience one or the other as a byproduct of those toxic traits.
yeah, and that's good. And we was talking in our meeting yesterday that
Yeah.
sometimes these seemingly opposing thoughts can coexist, and often they do coexist, right? So that's a good example of it right here. And she has another one down here.
Mhm.
She says, I can tell you the pros and cons of mental health issues. I've worked with so many people and so many times of decades of mental health issues until that is a very scary feeling, very scary. And the government and the higher ups are trying to do what they can to push it back and bury it. You're right. Yeah, I look at my military background. There's the VA. They do a lot to try to address mental health. And there's these bunch of hotlines out there. And the current administration have come back and taken some of those hotlines where people could call in the wee hours of the night, or the morning, and to get support. And they're literally, it's happening right now. They're taking those lines away, to push back on Medicare and Medicaid, these things that provide services for people that are going through the struggle. It's not like, hey, oh, well, I got to find me another means to get help. It's costing people their lives in real time, when there is no resource out there for you to reach to. So you're right. She's right. The government is burying it, and it's intentional. So,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah,
cool. But this is a
100%.
good time where we can wrap up the discussion. We always let Gregory feed us with some good words of wisdom. Like only like he can. But how about you
Thank
wrap
you.
up the discussion? We'll let Gregory do his parting thoughts, and Johnny, you can do the same.
We'll
Great.
do.
What I come back to is how much we need each other in the community. And so if you ever play video games, you'll know that there's a game called Call of Duty. And in that game, one of the players, as you play the game, sometimes you run out of ammunition and you hear your player say, "Cover me, I'm reloading." That doesn't mean that I am dead yet, but it means that I am facing a real enemy. And if you don't cover me, the enemy could take me out. And I think that that is incumbent on us as brothers, as sisters, as mothers, as daughters, that when a man is saying, "Cover me, I'm reloading," I'm trying to get better. I'm looking for ways to get better, but I need you to cover me. Cover me. I'm going through a divorce. Cover me. I'm going through a health scare. Cover me. I have a broken heart. I need you to cover me right now.
Oh man, we lost Gregory, man. He was on the road too, man. I tell you
And
what.
I'll jump in there on the cover. I think it's so important for us to
Yeah.
continue to cover within the community, but with a sense of accountability. You don't want just covering for support, but you need covering to be better, to evolve as a man. There are stages of every man's life, and we want to make sure that we're getting better with age. We don't become old fools. That is just to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. But I think as we're seeking that covering, we should also seek accountability. So I just talking about covering there, Gregory, for each of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how much you heard before I got cut off, but it is so important for us to understand that we are facing a real enemy, and it's only natural that we're going to eventually have to reload.
Right.
Life is overwhelming, and the needs are omnipresent, and we will eventually need to take a knee, take a beat, and reload and restart and refresh. Find that community that can cover you while you reload.
I love it. I love it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So I appreciate the words, Gregory, the encouragement. And Mr. Johnny, I know you've kind of fed off of Gregory's part about covering, but we're going to let you add to it or come with your own words of wisdom and parting thoughts, please.
Yeah, I think it's so important for us to be anchored. There are so many things in life that can cause us to waver in our belief, our self identity, our faith, our belief, our trust, our hope, even our resilience to live a better life than what we've seen or even experienced. If we anchor our lives on the Word of God, we have a firm foundation, and in that foundation, we find other resources through the source that God gives us. And I think for every man that's watching, every woman that's watching, I challenge you to look at every struggle that you're facing right now and find an opportunity to find strength and find something that's going to strengthen you and make you better as a result of you experiencing this struggle. We can't avoid the struggle. We can't avoid the pain, but we can become better because of the experience and because of our interactions with others. And after we become better because of it, let's then reciprocate that. Go back to someone else and help them be strengthened through their place of struggle.
Amen. The doors of the church are now open. Thank you, Johnny. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Johnny, hey, where can people reach you, my friend? I mean, I know that you have more that you can share. I know that there's more opportunities out there that you would like to be involved in. How can people reach you? And most importantly, how can people get this book so they can learn more about how they can be anchored and how men can just be equipped to get through that storm?
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity to even share. It's you can find it on the website. That's johnnylmoore.com, johnnylmoore.com. And you can find the book there. You can also find me on any social media platform there on Facebook. It's Johnny Moore the Third because I got somebody else's name, so I don't need y'all being my. Uh, uh, I'm also on Instagram, jmoore1911. You can find me there if you want me to come and speak at any event that you have. I do leadership, consulting. I also do men's, groups and development there as well. You can email me at johnnymoore1911@gmail.com. And if not, you can inbox me on any of those social media platforms, and I'll get back with you for sure.
That 1911 is a reference to.
It's a reference to my fraternity.
That's
Kappa.
right. I thought so. There you go with the red. I was wondering why you was wearing red today. I got you. I understand.
Oh, look at that guy.
Yeah, so we want to talk about the Create the Life I Want conference that is coming up quickly, people. So don't delay, don't procrastinate, don't hesitate, don't negotiate on getting your tickets. It will be held in Gerard's hometown of Texarkana. Amazing panelists, amazing entertainment, top notch across the board. You're going to be served and you're going to be served well. And this is just going to be a great opportunity for men and women to learn more about mental health and a variety of perspectives, a variety of opinions. And so we're going to do a deep dive. And hopefully, the desire is the men and the women that love men will go back and are equipped to have happier, healthier lives because now they're strengthened with the tools they need to battle those mental health storms. And I will be the keynote speaker for the Create the Life I Want event. And in my portion, I will be giving tools so that the men that are present can know what they can do on a day-to-day basis in order to stay balanced and to stay healthy. So I'm extremely excited, as they say in old school. I'm honeymoon happy to be a part of this event, and I know it's going to be just a wonderful thing. So I'm getting ready. So y'all get ready too.
Hey, Gregor, I have one more thing because when you announced that event, I forgot an event that I'll be a part of a National Black Book Festival. It's here locally in Houston, Texas, where it's all Black authors. And we'll be there at the Fallbrook Church, October 23rd through the 25th. So it's coming up the month after. So I'd love for everyone to come out. I'll be signing books and speaking with individuals and helping as much as I possibly can. So that's October the 23rd through the 25th at the National Black Book Festival at the Fallbrook Church here in Houston, Texas.
Hey, if you don't mind, can you put that in the comments when you get a chance of the feed, the show, just after the show is over, go and just type it in the comments, and I'll make sure I get the word out. And I'm gonna try to be there. I'm gonna try to be there, man. Try to come support you.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. But before we go, this is the last little fun part. You know, you told a lot about you in the business sense, you know, your professional sense, but now we're gonna get in your personal business a lot. So give us about 3 more minutes. And I love this part, because it's either or is the name of this, and we want the audience to play along with it too. So we're going to ask you a couple things. These are unique in my mind to our community. So I'm just going to ask you a question. You tell me either or. Dallas or Houston?
Houston.
Houston. Oh man, we're going to have to talk about that, but we won't go too far. All right. If you go on a vacation, would you prefer a cabin or a 5-star hotel?
5-star hotel.
Okay, I get it. Okay, road trip or a flight?
Flight.
Okay, you in a hurry to get there, huh?
I got to get there, man.
Yeah, you got time. Okay. All right, you want to pay for to go to the movies, or you rather Netflix and chill at the house?
Netflix and chill.
Okay. You saving your money, right?
You just did. I think you just did. You don't put your business out there. People know you now. You know who you are.
Hey, I ain't saying who you Netflixing and chilling with.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, hey, with your wings, bone in or bone out?
Bone in.
Man, thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, I wouldn't in this show if you said boneless wings. I tell people all them ain't wings, them chicken nuggets with sauce on them, man. Yeah. Okay. Kool-Aid or sweet tea? Careful.
Oh.
Nah.
Oh.
God. Man, I'm from Memphis. Kool-Aid.
You gonna go with the Kool-Aid? Hey, my boy JT Bruce, he's down there in Houston too. We need y'all guys to link up down there, man, and see how y'all can work together and support each other too. So
yes, sir.
He said, "Don't sleep on the H." I got you. Catfish or salmon?
Catfish.
Okay.
Fried.
Okay, fried. Okay. Hey, you know, people are entitled to change their minds and habits, and there's been this newfound desire for salmon now. So no judgment. I'm with you on the catfish.
But I got a question with that because I know this is your show, but I got a question.
Come on with it.
You do spaghetti with your catfish or spaghetti a standalone?
Okay, let me be transparent. So I just found out about this catfish and spaghetti about a year ago, man. So my bonus daughter, man, her name is Jordan, man. She cooked me some about a week ago, and man, there's nothing left. She gave me 2 portions, and it was gone the same night. So yeah, catfish. So I brought up with catfish and fries, man. But yeah, I did learn about this catfish and spaghetti, and I was like, man, what do y'all speak of? You know. But,
yeah.
A couple more questions. Well, one more. Are you paying for the first date, or are you going Dutch?
I'm paying
Even
for the
if
first.
you are okay. What about you, Gregory?
I'm paying for the first date, but it's going to be a modest first date.
Okay. What's modest? Cheesecake Factory?
No, like coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double shot of espresso and get out of here. Huh?
Well, just look, a beautiful walk in the park.
I got you.
I got you. I'm gonna learn from you.
That's the next show. What the first date look like? Hey, shout out to my homeboy, childhood friend Corey Sanders. He said, "Look, I appreciate you tuning in. And if you haven't done it, Corey, JT, y'all go out and share the show. And other hometown, man, Texarkana showing up. Appreciate y'all. This is my classmate Michelle. She says spaghetti with chicken too.
All night.
What'd you say?
Yeah, been Texarkana all night.
Man, my people show up, man. My people show up. I love them, man. Hey, she said spaghetti and chicken too. I grew up eating that, and sometimes together, chicken spaghetti. So, hey. Yeah, shout out to Michelle. She's on the healing side of dealing with cancer. So, hey, keep her in your prayers and thoughts. And
God bless
you. Classmate, and continue healing for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Corey's laughing about Gregory's whole idea of the modest date.
Coffee date.
Yeah, for sure.
Coffee date. That's right. During the date.
And this is my bougie friend from Texarkana as well. She got to go. She can't do Outback or Texas Roadhouse. She got to go to Paris Steakhouse. Steaks start off at about $50-$60 each. So yeah.
You can't do it.
It's not that I can't. Well, I'm not. I'll say that for a different show.
Yeah,
for a different show.
No, we about to get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm about to start some smoke.
For Dorkisa. Appreciate you tuning in. All y'all, if y'all haven't done it, well, Greg, I was gonna take your thunder, man. This is where you close them out. I was gonna tell them to like and share, but I'll let you do that at the end. And Michelle saying thanks for the prayer. So hey, appreciate it.
Absolutely, sis. We love our supporters, and we want to be in prayer for the needs of our supporters. And so, God bless you, sis. We wish you a speedy recovery, and I want you to know God is able. He is able
and willing,
to do exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask or think.
Yeah, and Dorkisa, go check out the show. Please hit the replay, share it as well. But yeah, we were talking about being anchored. My brother Johnny up here, he's an author, and his book is called, Johnny?
It's Anchored, Finding Strength in Your Struggles.
Yeah, so we just hit some topics from his book, but go and check this show out. You will not be disappointed. All right, Gregory, this is your world now.
Hey, thank you guys for watching. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure, as Les Brown would say, to share this time with you. And we hope that tonight blessed you. And we also know that, hey, that this isn't the only important topic out there. So feel free to hit us up and let us know what topics are important to you. And we will bring on the people that we feel will be able to speak to those topics, because we are here to serve the community. We are here to serve God's people, and we want to do it well. And we did that tonight with the pastor, minister, bishop, apostle extraordinaire, Johnny Moore tonight. But please go out and get his book. Listen, mental health is so important. Regardless of your age, your color, your geographical location, life is just tough sometimes. And sometimes you're going to need help. So take your time, invest in yourself, because the best thing you can give to your loved ones is a healthy you. And we want that for everybody that watches our show. So please like, share, subscribe. The floor is your podcast. We love you. Thank you for watching tonight. And in the meantime, peace, love, and hair grease. We out.
Won't need another. This one here really do it for you.